This is going to be the first of 3 videos on vertical core training exercises. Vertical core training is really an essential part of being able to move well, lift well, function well in your movement patterns. This first video is going to show one of the 3 types of vertical core training regimens we'll use. This one is going to focus on having a stationary base with a moving object overhead. Subsequent videos will show vertical core training with a stationary weight overhead or stationary object and the lower body moving. And the final one will show both upper body and lower body moving, but in a way that focuses on strengthening the core. This is a very, very important method of training. That's why I'm creating this video. I actually have found some other good videos out there on the internet, and I will link you to some of those. However, I wanted to have something that was a little bit quicker and more concise that you can get started with immediately. And then as you want to expand your knowledge base and things like that with regard to this vertical core training, you can reference some of these other videos. So, my basic introductory vertical core training is going to consist of 5 movements with the arms and upper body with a stationary base. One of the things to remember on this is when you train your core, you're really looking for stabilization. That's an important part. And training for stabilization is a little bit different than maybe what you're used to. You utilize stabilization all the time, you just don't necessarily conscientiously think about training stabilization. And interestingly enough, most of the time when we think about training the core, we think about doing primary movement things like crunches and sit-ups. And unless you're an inchworm, that's not really how you predominantly use your core musculature. You're using it to stabilize and enable you to exert strong ground forces and move your body through space well. So that's what these exercises are going to focus on. So let's get started with them. My friend Mr. Moose over here is going to help me with this. Continue from here. First movement is going to be like the old 60s dance, the Watusi. We assume a roughly shoulder width stance. Flex the knees or bend the knees slightly, and you're just going to do a relatively straight arm, soft elbows, overhead, alternating lift. The second exercise you will do will be a pull to the chin, twist, and punch out to the side. The third movement will be like an uppercut punch. Once again with a good trunk twist, though, included in that. Fourth movement is going to be an overhead lift. It will be a frontal plane type lift, and it's going to involve a little trunk bend with the movement. And then the fifth and final movement will be a twist and a punch the dumbbell out behind you. so those are our 5 exercises. Now, I showed that with my feet side by side in what's called a unilateral stance. You also want to do these same 5 movements in a bilateral stance. Left leg forward, right leg back, right leg forward, left leg back. And when you do those, you're going to find they're a little bit more challenging on your stability. So don't be surprised if you wobble around a little bit in the process of doing those. Okay, let's talk about how much weight to use. Use something that's light enough that you can move it quickly. Part of the momentum that you gain from this is where some of the strengthening comes in. Also, if you're able to move it quickly, you get a little bit more of an aerobic benefit, which you can tell by the fact that I'm having to breathe a little bit harder than normal to get through making this video. So, light enough that you can move it well in terms of how to do it. There are 5 moves there. I like to do 5 repetitions to each side on each of these. And I like to cycle through these 3 to 5 times. So you would do 1 set, feet unilaterally, a set, feet bilaterally left, bilaterally right, then go back to unilateral, go to set 2. Boom, 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 boom. 3 sets of those to begin with. Work your way up to 5 sets. After you're able to do 5 sets of these comfortably, that'll be time to move to the next phase, which will be stationary overhead with moving feet. Hope you enjoyed the video and that it's useful to you.